Hello, everybody. I think we're just beginning to get a few people. So I'm going to work on screen sharing here. And let me know. See, hang on. Let me get this screen show. Let me know if sound quality is okay. You can see everything and all of that. Center presentation mode. All right. How is that? Raise your hand if you can see the slides and if you can hear me. I think there's a little hand raise. Okay, we've got some hand raising up. Chat. Yes, all good. Fantastic. Yay, this is a new setup. I actually used to do it another way with my laptop, and then I changed it to my PC so you can actually see like my little teeny office, that I have. This is actually a sound recording studio where I do my voiceovers. So just a little, yeah, there we go. Yes, glad you're here. I think we're going to officially start because I know these are recorded and I think people like to have them less than an hour if possible. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But if you don't know me, my name is Jeannie McGinnis, and I'm on the advisory board as the skincare and beauty trainer for Forever Living Ireland and the UK. I've been doing this 3 years officially in this capacity, but I've had a relationship with Forever before that. And I love everything about the skin, studying skin science. A little bit about my background. I have been in the health and wellness industry for years and years in different capacities. I actually have a portfolio career, meaning I do lots of different things. So I have qualifications in holistic nutrition. I am currently studying skin science right now. Got a little put on hold with everything that's gone on this last year and a half, 2 years, year and a half, I guess. So, and then I've got qualifications in aromatherapy and let's see, mindfulness as well. I'm a coach. And then I do a lot of different things. I've worked for different wellness brands as well, or health brands. And so, yes, so I've got a lot of experience bringing into this. But today, we're going to talk about being outdoors, what Forever products offer us, especially all the benefits of aloe, and some of the products that you can use when we're outdoors. So I like this picture that I started with because it's kind of like, honestly, I would say in the last year, I've had a little bit of a turnaround, not totally. I used to be Miss SPF all the time. All the time. And I think it's because I have very pale skin. And I grew up in Texas, if you can't tell from my accent, even though I live in Sheffield, England. And so in Texas, when you were 16 years old, you went and you tanned and you got a big tan and you went by the pool or you went outside and you went to the beach and you got a tan. So all my friends would go get a tan and I would put SPF all over on my hat because I would burn. However, now that I'm approaching 50, I'm really glad I did that. So even if I felt like the big loser, because not that I was a loser, but when they're all tanning and getting these wonderful, beautiful tans, my skin just didn't really do that without a lot of SPF and a lot of help, and it was a lot slower. So the benefit of SPF is it really protects your skin long term, to where I really do believe, like I said, as I'm in middle age and I don't really have that many fine lines or wrinkles or skin damage. And we're going to look at that in a minute. So, however, I was saying, I have changed this a bit with all the things that have gone on in the world. We've really seen a lot of studies on vitamin D. And we also know that being outdoors is really important for immune health, for mental health, for connecting, especially right now. Some places outdoors is the best way to have, friendships and relationships. And it's really interesting. I've done several courses and several things with mindfulness and meditation, and I'm a big advocate of meditation. There's a lot of great apps out there. But part of that is also connecting outdoors and being outdoors. And so that's, so I wouldn't say I've totally changed. I do believe in SPF very much to protect your skin, especially your face from signs of premature aging. But we need where the sun, one of the few vitamins we actually produce is from the sun, and that's vitamin D. We need that vitamin D. I encourage you to supplement if you're not getting enough, and you can watch some of Louise's webinars to get some ideas about how to supplement with some of our vitamins that have vitamin D, because we have several of them. I encourage you to supplement if you're not getting enough, but you know what? The sun is out, and even today, the sun is out. So get some vitamin D, go for a walk. You only need to be out for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get enough vitamin D. So that's a little intro. Let's get started. And I'm going to try to answer questions as we go along. But if I don't get to your question, I'll try to get to it. And I might not be able to answer all of it because of compliance, but I'll let you know. So we welcome the sun. It's a mood booster, and it really is. I mean, I've seen it even in my own kids, you know, who had to do online school. You know, it's like, let's at least get next to a window. Let's get some sun. It boosts, you know, serotonin levels and dopamine and all that just by getting a change of pace. You know, the change of scenery, the vitamin D, but too much of a good thing is not so great for your skin. So how can we protect it? So the products we're going to talk about today is we do have one product that has SPF that will protect your skin, but everything else is when you've had just a little too much. So soothing and calming your skin from too much exposure, replacing what was lost with hydration and with moisture. Now, if you don't know already, which hopefully you do, we are an aloe-based company where our flagship is aloe, our aloe drinks, and but also all of our skincare has aloe in it. And if, you know, let's talk about that, I guess. Let's talk about aloe in the skin and benefits for the skin. There are benefits from drinking aloe for the skin, just because of hydration and all those things, but topically putting aloe on your skin. And most of our skincare products, aloe is the top ingredient. And we try to put a lot of it. And some of the products I'm going to talk about, it's pretty much the ingredient, maybe a little bit more added to it to help the consistency and texture and shelf life. But for the most part, aloe is a pretty high ingredient in a lot of our skincare products. So here's a couple of things about aloe in the skin. There's no slide for this. I'm just going to kind of say what they are. So one is it's an adaptogenic plant. What does that mean? It means aloe is a kind of plant that helps your body adapt to what it should be. It brings balance, whether it's your pH balance on your skin or just balance and normalizing hydration and all those things. That's what an adaptogen does. And so it helps your body get back to what it's supposed to be. Two, it's a carrier. So when you've got aloe with other ingredients, it carries it deeper than what it could do by itself. So you've got, I don't know, jojoba or something like that. I'm just picking an ingredient. When you pair aloe with it, that jojoba by itself can only go to a certain level in the skin. With aloe, because it's a carrier or has lignans, as we say, it will go deeper than what it could do by itself. Another thing that aloe is it's a humectant. What's a humectant? Well, basically think sponge. It's a natural sponge. And so it draws moisture to itself and aids in moisture retention. And so when you add something like this, it's going to aid in moisture and hydration, which is really key when you've had too much sun exposure because your skin is dry. And when your skin is dry for too long, it's going to start to get more oxidative stress. Those, you know, if you heard any of the skincare training, and hopefully we'll get to do some more stuff. I actually didn't do the videos for the skincare training because of a couple of things, but when I do it in live trainings, oxidative stress is basically what happens in life. I mean, there's when you breathe, you know, and all the functions and things in your body happens, you have a whole process. But out of that process, you have these things that are released in kind of cleansing process and releasing process, and they're called free radicals. And those are kind of like, I don't know, electrons that don't have a pair. So we won't get into all the science of that. But what happens is when you have too much of it, like you'll have a little bit, and that's totally fine. But when you have too much, you can risk free radical damage and oxidative stress that creates that free radical damage. And what does that mean? Well, free radical damage and oxidative stress, too much of it, can create wrinkles and fine lines and do a heck of a lot of damage to your skin and even other parts of you. So that's what we're trying to prevent, is how can we reduce stress? How can we reduce stress on your body? And that's one of the beautiful things about aloe, is it helps that process of just kind of reducing all that stress that can happen, and aid in that, just to be compliant. So another thing is it's a nutraceutical, meaning it's a food for the skin. So it's going to help, it's just going to feed the skin. It's just full of nourishment, it's goodness. And it, so it's something that both as you drink it, it's a great food for the skin, but also topically, it's great food for the skin. It's just very nourishing. And it's going to help with just your overall skin health because it's very balancing. So that's just a little bit about aloe and skin. But the number one way your skin ages prematurely, this is from the National Library of Medicine, is basically UV ray exposure. It seems to be what causes 80% of visible facial aging signs. And so how do we protect, especially our face? Because I think that's what, it's like, oh, who cares if I've got wrinkles and whatever on my arm, but on my face, am I going to speed up the process? And when I look at my friends, like I mentioned, here in Texas, who would get burned and tan all in their teens, all in their 20s, now they look a whole lot older than what they need to look, and so it's all about prevention and putting the brakes on signs of premature aging. So let's look at what those UV rays. So there's two types of UV rays that you get from the sun. You get UVA, you can call them aging rays, or UVB, which are burning rays. And UVB is what you think of. You're like, oh, I don't want to burn, and I'm, fair skin. I don't want to burn. And but the thing is that now with darker pigments, you're not going to get as much UVB rays. But with darker pigment in the skin, you can still get the same amount of UVA rays. In fact, they are tremendously more out there in the environment than UVB rays. And so that's what you're really, regardless of your skin color, that's what you're really trying to protect, is the UVA rays. So let's look, what do UVA rays do? They go deeper into the skin. They can damage your DNA. They can damage your collagen, which is in the skin. They can cause wrinkling, loss of pigmentation. Gain pigmentation, loss of elasticity, and so more sagging and dragging. And it's up to 50 times more prevalent than UVB rays. So UVB rays are the burning rays. And those go less into the skin, that epidermis, and you can see in the graph, the epidermis is that top layer, dermis is that middle layer, and then the subcutaneous fat is the lower layer of the skin. And there's all kinds of things in the midst of this. Collagen, elastin are all in the dermis, and hyaluronic acid, that's where your moisture is. So UVB rays cause the sunburns, but they can also increase the risk of skin cancer. I know my side note, so my stepsister is a model who lived in Hawaii, and she's a redhead. And when she was 21, she had, they discovered something on her back, and she would go tan. She lived in Hawaii at the time. Now she lives in California. She would go tan all the time because it looked nice, right? Well, around 21, 22, they found a spot on her back, and she had to have this huge thing removed of skin cancer. And it was, it's just because it wasn't protected. So she's a huge advocate of, sun cream and all of that. So little side story. And then also radiation is higher during the summer and during midday with the potential to burn. Usually they say around between like 11 and 4, or 12 and 3. It just depends on where you're at. You know, like I was in Thailand, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. And wow, the sun was so intense. And I mean, it was out in the middle, you know, I think it was like early in the morning and I got sunburn and, ugh, you know, and I was hardly out. And so really it depends on where you're at in the equator and the time of day, what season it is of how much that happens. All right, so anyhow, what does sunscreen do? It protects. It keeps those UVA and UVB rays from going into the deeper levels of the surface. So I love this picture. If you've anybody ever done the ultralight kind of thing where you can see sun damage, this is her sun damage. You know, she doesn't look like it with that, but when you look under ultraviolet, that's actually what's going on with her skin. I've had that done too, and it was a very vulnerable experience, let me tell you. I was encouraged because my skin is aged a lot younger than I really am. And I think it's just because I did SPF religiously, and I still do it. And then this is a great picture. I do this in my trainings, but basically he was a lorry driver because the trucks and stuff, the glass does not protect from UVA rays. Maybe from UVB rays, but from UVA rays, it does not. And you can see the side that faced the glass in the lorry, that's how much he aged in his face. That's a great picture. All right. So this is Jean and Susan. They're a set of twins. And you can Google this. I think you can find this online pretty easily. But basically, one used sun cream, didn't, expose herself, also didn't smoke. The other did. And you can see they're exactly the same age. But see the difference in their face. So if you're not sold on SPF, there you go. It's a great picture. All right. So, let me go back. So here's the products we're going to talk about. Hydrating serum, aloe lips. We just threw that one in because that one's a good one. Aloe sun cream, aloe first, aloe vera jelly, and aloe biocellulose mask. And I'm also going to talk about a few other products as well. So first, our sun cream, sunscreen. All right, SPF 30. That means that basically it will protect you to a certain level. And there's not a whole lot of difference between 30 and 50 and 100. And so for most people, 30 is all you need for good protection from the sun. However, no matter the sun cream, no matter, reapply, 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 especially if you're near water or sweating. And I would say every 2 hours or so, I would reapply. That's something we think, oh, I put it on for the day. Well, no, you need to keep putting it on. And this is true for every single sun cream brand that you get. The other thing is that people don't put enough on. So you really need, and this is all sun creams as well, you really need about a teaspoon per area of the body you're going to cover. So your face, your arms, your torso, your legs, other miscellaneous parts that you are exposing to the sun, whatever that is. So put enough on and reapply to keep up that protection. And so too much sun and sun poisoning and heat and all that just is not good. And so this is prevention all the way. Yes, this does not clog your pores. So I actually put this on underneath makeup if I'm going to go out, or of course without makeup. It is water resistant, like I said, protection from UVA and UVB rays to moisturize and protect. It's got aloe. So it's got all those wonderful ingredients of aloe. You could also mix it. If it's a little too white for you, put a little tint into it. And so put it with a little foundation or whatever. If you want, because for some with darker color skin, they're like, oh, it's a little too white. Well, put a little mix in there, or put it on lightly and layer. Put it on lightly and layer. And it's got natural zinc oxide as the protecting. So what I love about this, and there was a lot of news several years ago about damaging ingredients that were sun creams that are now being banned in places like Hawaii or Australia because it's destroying the coral reefs, it's damaging to the environment. And some even say some of those damaging ones actually could go into your bloodstream, and who knows what kinds of effects they have. But this does not. This has a natural zinc oxide. That's what is that white stuff. You know, people are like, why is it so white? It's because we use natural mineral ingredients to protect your skin. And they do offer superior protection with added vitamin E. So you got some skin vitamins in there as well. So this is fantastic and the first port of call. But if you get a little too much skin, or if your skin is just feeling a little dry, if your skin is feeling a little dry because you were out, but maybe you didn't get burned, this is a great aftercare. And so basically, this is our classic aloe vera jelly. It is pretty similar to what you get in the plant, although I have to say, so my mom, I lived in Alaska when I was a kid, or part of it, and she had several aloe vera plants, and if we ever got hurt or whatever, she would get the little plant and then she'd get the goo and all that. And I'm like, I'm so glad for this because it's not the plant. The plant was kind of gross, if you ask me. This is not gross. But this is similar to what you would get with that consistency. And it calms and soothes and lubricates, especially when you've had a bit too much sun exposure. And this is usually one of our first ports of call. And it's a multi-purpose, different FBOs. You use it for different things. I've even heard of like hair gel. I've heard of like even eye makeup remover. I can't get into all of it because of compliance, but it is a multi-purpose, and this is just a staple in our house that we have. Throwing in there aloe lips, very hydrating. It's got jojoba in it, which is a very hydrating moisturizer, as well as aloe. So you're getting the benefits of aloe. And it's just small and nice, and this is a great little gift. So I tend to give this as a gift as well to people. And my son loves it. He's going through a lot right now where he's had a lot of dry skin, and this is great on his dry lips. So, and he uses this several times a day, every day. All right, so let me just check the questions here before we move on. Question. We've got, is there a way of reversing the effects of oxidative stress on the skin, or can we only prevent further damage? That's a great question. I do think when we get to the skincare, if you have consistent skincare and you use products that are anti-aging, which we have multiple ones, I believe that you can halt and put the brakes on. Maybe even see it backpedal, so to speak. There, there's no guarantees whatsoever. However, I feel like for me, I've been using like the Infinite serum, and there's serums, firming serum, and it's got the patented peptides. And we're going to talk about that at the end here. Those kinds of things can actually put the brakes on it and bring moisture and hydration. And so I do feel like you can backpedal, but it's better to be preventative. So in terms of jelly, someone's asking about jelly internally. I think ask head office for that. Just, I need to be careful with compliance, so I can't really address that, but that's a good one to call head office at their FBO support, and they can answer your question about using jelly internally. So I'm not going to answer that one just for compliance sake. All right, aloe first. Let's talk about aloe first. If you don't want to touch your skin, this is in a lovely spray. It's also got wonderful herbs like chamomile and what else? I mean, it's got like multiple herbs, that are really hydrating. It's got a lovely scent, but it's all about conditioning and soothing and protecting. But it's aloe spray, so sometimes that's just a lot easier. It's also great for your hair. So like some people use it to protect their hair if they've had a little too much chlorine in their hair. Some even use it kind of as like a after hair sort of conditioning, so to speak. It's got, some people use it for kind of after the shower as the shower refreshener because it's got such a lovely botanical scent and it's full of botanicals, but it's aloe primarily, and then it's got several added botanicals, just about soothing, protecting, and adding moisture to your skin to help bring that balance. Remember, aloe is an adaptogen. It helps to bring balance to what's supposed to be. Okay, so let me just see another question. Great, we will move on to the next one. All right, one of my favorite products, hands down, standalone product, multiple award winning. I need to like update this and put all the awards. I'm going to be doing something about all the new awards we've gotten. And Aloe Biocellulose Mask has gotten several global awards, which is really cool. But before all those awards, I love this product. I mean, I really do. My whole family does, actually. My husband and my son who's 16, my daughter who's 18. This is we have family movie night and we all wear masks because one, it's for all skin types and there's no oils in it. So even if you have oily skin, it's very hydrating. Two is it's pumped full of aloe, but then it's got beautiful seagrass and horse chestnut and green tea. And it's all about hydration and it's all about going deep into the skin. Every part besides the packaging is compostable. So when you're done, you can just throw it outside into your garden if you want to. And what you do is you wear it for if you put it on, there's two layers. There's the top and then there's the bottom. And then you put it on and you put the thing on with the eye holes. You kind of have to cut those out, but you can use those things and put on your lips or on parts of you. There's usually extra in it. And one thing I want to say about this is I've done different webinars talking about serums. This is basically a serum and a mask. What is a serum? A serum is power packed. It usually is a little bit more specific, usually geared towards hydration, though some are moisturizing and hydrating. This one is very hydrating, but it's a lot more ingredients. I'm sorry, a lot less ingredients, but a lot more of the ingredients. And so that's what a serum is. And instead of just applying it on your face, like all of our other serums or normal serums, you put it on your face for 20 minutes. And after the first 15, the actual mask begins to break down, which is pretty cool. And you can leave it on as long as you want. I find it a little awkward if the post comes and I have to open the door. But this is great. I do it when I'm doing meditation. I actually do this when I'm doing some office work because it stays on your face and I'll just sit there if I'm not doing a Zoom. It's a fantastic thing. But here's the great thing about skin. If your skin has gotten a little too dry because you've been out in the sun or it's too red and it hurts, put this in the freezer or put this in the fridge for a little bit and then put it on, and it's so cooling and so soothing. So anyhow, one of my top favorite products. Let me just check. There we go. I'm just looking at the comments just a minute. Someone asked about the expiration date on the SPF. I would recommend, if it's past the expiration date, there's a reason for that. And that actually does mean, and this is across the board for all sun creams, if you look and you've got ones from 3 years ago, throw them away because they're not going to be as effective at all. In fact, probably, yeah, you're just going to lose its effectiveness. I would encourage you. In fact, I just ordered a new one because I had some from last year that I didn't use up, but because with expiration dates, with the sun cream, if it goes past, it's not going to be effective to protect you as well as it could. Okay. All right. Is the sound quality okay? I just need to hear. Somebody said it was not great for them, but I'm not sure if I can actually. Someone says not great. Okay. Let me just see for a second. Pause. This is where they would be editing this out in marketing because it's like a long thing. Let me just see if this will work Sounds a bit up and down, crackly, but you can hear fine. All right, let me just try this. Okay, can you hear me now? Someone else has no problems with the sound. Yes, yes, can you hear me? Yes, better, bit better. I don't know if I can actually go in and change my volume in this. Hang on a second. Yeah, I don't think I can actually change my volume in the middle of this webinar, but okay, so some people are having problems with it. Some people are not having problems. Okay, side note, sorry about that. Little thing. Okay, so can you apply aloe first before the sun cream if your skin is super dry? Yes, go for it. But just make sure your sun cream gets in there and dries and maybe reapply it. Okay. All right, I think that's it. Let's move on. Oh, I'm getting a few more. Great, here in London. Okay, everybody can hear now. All right, well, good to know. Like I said, this is a new system, so I haven't really done a whole lot on here except for just normal Zooms. So, okay, hydrating serum. This is also an award-winning product. And this is also, if your skin is a little too dry in areas, put this on as well. Now, this is something I use in, I wouldn't say daily because my skin is not that dry, but I have certain periods in, and honestly, and you'll notice this, you'll go out, you'll get a great tan, be lovely, but about 2 weeks later, your skin might feel a little bit dry. And it just, especially if you just had a little bit too much sun. So this is fantastic because it's got hyaluronic acid, which we'll talk about in a second. And then it's got lots of botanicals that help prevent oxidative stress, what we were talking about. But then it's got things like shea butter, which is, I love shea butter. It just kind of melts right there. And then it's got coconut fatty acids. And so it's got lovely hydration and moisture. But what's hyaluronic acid? Hyaluronic acid is found naturally in that second layer of your skin. And basically it's what gives you hydration and moisture, and it retains moisture. So when we topically put on hyaluronic acid, we have to do it really, really tiny so it can go deeper into the skin. But we've got 4 types. So we've got kind of one that we didn't make so tiny, so it kind of helps seal the skin and protect the skin to keep moisture in, but then keep things from getting out, and hydration loss, moisture loss as well. And then it's got tiny, tiny hyaluronic acid, so it can go in and bring hydration and moisture as well to the deeper part of the skin. So I use this along with my moisturizer. There's no hard and fast rule. I would say with like the firming serum, because that's the other serum that we have, I would say before your moisturizer. With this one, before, after, as needed on those dry areas. So a great example, it was a few months ago actually, and I woke up and I was like, ugh, my cheeks just feel dry. Ugh. So I used exfoliator because usually I use that about once or twice a week, smoothing exfoliator. And then I put this on twice a day for about 4 or 5 days, and all of a sudden it's gone and it was back to normal. So, and that's why I love too, again, not just a serum, but it's got all that aloe in it. Aloe, remember, is an adaptogenic plant. It helps your body adapt to what it's supposed to be. So, all right. Let's go on. All right, oh, let's go back. So those, well, there we go. These are the products, except we don't have Protecting Day lotion anymore. It's under construction. So we'll see when that comes back. But it's not here at the moment. All right, but don't forget your routine. If you're going to protect your skin, because someone asked that question about oxidative stress and prevention of aging, the best thing you can do is have a routine. And we've got 2 skincare lines. And then we have the targeted range that sits in the middle that complements each. But the lines are what you would use for your skin type. So Oh, and then I added one more thing. Do a scrub. If you're going to do a fake tan, use one of our exfoliators, which we'll talk about, because it helps the fake tan go on a lot smoother. If you're going to be outdoors and show off that fake tan. Okay, so Sonia, I'm not going to go into these too much, but this is for our largest demographic, 18 to 45-year-olds, oily skin or normal combination. I don't want to say normal because that's not it. It's combination. Normal falls under it because even people with normal skin have times when it's drier, have times when it's oilier because of hormones, because of stress, because of too much sun, because of all those factors. And so if you're going to go basic, you need at least the cleanser and the moisturizer because every person needs cleansing and moisturizing because of, moisturizer brings hydration, but it also brings the right types of oils that your skin needs. And this can be done for oily skin or combination skin. And in the middle are kind of part of the Sonia, and it just helps your skin balance. We've got our illuminating gel, which is both for all skin types, actually. So I don't want to say just both for, but for all skin types. So even maturing skin, it actually has some anti-aging properties of skin that helps brighten the appearance of skin, helps minimize the appearance of pores, helps bring a lovely matte where there might be an oily shine. It's got lovely botanicals in it. And a little bit goes a long way. It's very power punched, just need a tiny bit. And then our refining gel mask, I do know FBOs who use this almost every night, but it's our only sleeping mask. And then basically the whole point is to help balance your skin while you sleep, especially if you have oily skin. I think this is really good for oily skin. Some people with drier skin find it too drying, but you can actually add a moisturizer on top of it. You can't see it. It's pretty matte. And you can sleep and it doesn't get all over your pillow. And it basically, especially with the licorice root and multiple botanicals in there that help balance out oils and balance out your skin to normalize. That's the whole point. And then our other line is our premium. And if you look at pricing of other premium anti-aging, they're very comparable and actually probably even cheaper. In fact, the firming serum, which is another one of my favorite products with the patented peptides, that was actually put in a competition with 30 other serums. It got number 8, and it was the lowest price of the top 10, lowest. And it's a power-packed type of serum. So that basically, again, if you're going to go for basics, go for the cleanser and then our moisturizer. This moisturizer is for dry skin and maturing skin because it's got the anti-aging benefits, but also it's got 15 potent skin conditioning ingredients in it as well. So it really is all about moisture, 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 because as you age, your skin begins to break down and get drier. Then we have our Only Beauty supplement, which contains marine collagen. It's got biotin, which is actually FBOs who take it consistently notice great things about their hair and their nails getting stronger. And so there's a lot of wonderful benefits in that. And then we've got our serum that goes before the moisturizer. And as I mentioned with serums, this serum prepares the way for the moisturizer, and it's got the peptides in it. It usually takes about 12 weeks to really see results, but I really do believe that this probably has kept a lot of my fine lines or wrinkles at bay. So preventing the oxidative stress. And it's very high in aloe and hyaluronic acid, which is also very much needed. So let me see if there's any, no other major questions. Okay. And yes, dries water in and reduces water out, fragrance free, prevention and correction. And it's got a lot of awards. So last two, yet another award-winning smoothing exfoliator. This one is different than our other exfoliator that I'm about to show you because I almost liken it to sandpaper in a good way. You're going to feel it a lot more, and that's that sustainably sourced Korean bamboo extract with the granules, got larger granules, but it doesn't scratch the skin, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, with women on your face, you shouldn't use it more than about 2 times a week. because then you can overstimulate your skin. With men, you could actually use it daily. And actually, it's been known to help men get a closer shave. You could use it on your body daily if you need to, but you probably won't need to. And it's great before a fake tan to get things off. It's also good for exfoliating the feet. So if you just want a little foot scrub, this is fantastic. It's got lemon essential oil, bromelain, which is papaya, papain, which is, bromelain, which is pineapple, papain, which is papaya, and all these bring hydration and moisture as well. So I love this exfoliator. Yes, a little bit more. Exfoliate 2 to 3 times a week so other ingredients can better absorb. And so you're helping lift the dead layers of your skin cells because your natural exfoliation process decreases as you age. Another fun thing as you age that happens. That was sarcastic. Another one of those things. Okay, so Aloe Scrub is our other exfoliator. It's a little bit more gentle, though I still would encourage only about 2 to 3 times a week. My son likes this one, actually. He uses this. And it doesn't have the Korean bamboo. It just has a jojoba, which doesn't clog the pores. So it's just a really gentle exfoliator. So I like this one in the shower personally, because then you can do your elbows and just those funny little dry areas that pop up. All right, got questions. I want to know if there's any other questions. Let's see. Humphrey's on fabulous information. When you say every part of the biocellulose mask is compostable, does that include the backing layers? Yes, the backing layers, but not the package itself, from what I understand. Now, I think you just caught me, though, because all of a sudden I'm like, well, they clarified that, but then they didn't say that. So let's ask head office on that question, Humphrey. Wait, someone is putting something in the chat. Maybe they know. Oh, no, that's a question. I will come back to you in a second. All right, so Humphrey, that's a good question. All of a sudden, I just went blank there because they clarified with me, because it's on a lot of our slides and products. It's all compostable. And I know the plastic on the actual thing is not, but then all of a sudden I'm like, you're right, is that? So let's ask head office and get back to you. And then let's see, a team member had a reaction to Sonia and what could cause the ingredients, so we know how to be more proactive. Guess what? Anybody can have a reaction to anything. I know people who are allergic to cucumber, but didn't know it until they had products with cucumber. So here's the deal is, if you can do it, I know it's really hard right now to always do a sample and test in sensitive areas. Get a little something that they can, a tester pot or something that nobody touches, and let them test in an area like behind the ear, because any botanical someone could have a reaction to. And so, and then also the other thing is to do products separately, because it could have been something in the moisturizer, not the cleanser. And I haven't really seen a whole lot of people, in fact, I don't know if I know any who react to the cleanser, but maybe the moisturizer, because there was a botanical in it. But like I said, I mean, even with, and like I said, I worked for some health companies, and even with your most organic, stripped back ingredients, where maybe you have 2, someone could react to it because they're sensitive. You just don't know. So that's probably what I would say with that. That's a great question. So, okay. Can we use these slides for social media? No, this is a training that you have. Now, if you want to look things up and see if marketing has some slides that are similar, that's great. But this is a training for you because you're an FBO, and this is not one for the public. What's the difference between the scrub and the exfoliator? Smoothing exfoliator has that Korean bamboo extract, so it's a lot more coarse, so to speak, or it's going to get a lot more, I wouldn't say coarse, but it's going to give a lot more friction than the jojoba scrub. And does the biocellulose mask contain our hydrating serum? No, it does not. The biocellulose does have hyaluronic acid, which is in our hydrating serum, but the biocellulose mask does not have oils. And so, okay, great. Can we use them together then? Yes, you can. You could totally, in fact, layer it on. You know, I would do basically the biocellulose mask after I've cleansed, make sure to cleanse, do the biocellulose mask, and then I would put on my moisturizer after I'm done with that. You don't have to wash off the biocellulose mask because it's a serum, but then you can put the hydrating serum on top of that because you're going to get moisture. Remember, there's no oils in the biocellulose mask, so you're going to need those oils from a moisturizer. So you can totally do that. Someone asked about alpha E, which I didn't say, you know, honestly, I didn't include this because it's all about outdoors. However, I do know some men who are follically challenged, bald on top, and they put on the alpha E and they feel like it protects them to a degree and keeps them hydrated. So that could kind of work. But okay, so but alpha E is great for the skin. It's a skin vitamin. It's oils for the skin, and you can use it on your cuticles. You can use it on the ends of your hair. You can use it on those little dry patches. You could add it to your moisturizer if you would like. So that's a whole other webinar about this. Okay, how do you explain the difference? Okay, I'm trying to understand this question about understanding the difference between the biocellulose mask and the hydrating serum. Can you use them together? Yes, the mask is just all about hydration. The serum is about moisture. So they are very different and you can use. If they want to pick one of the two, the exfoliator or the scrub, please. Great question. Basically, like my son, great example. He wanted the scrub or the aloe scrub, aloe scrub because it's more gentle. And he had tried it on his hand and he thought, no, I actually want, because my skin's really sensitive, I want something more gentle. I like the smoothing exfoliator because it's a little bit more intensive and it actually really gets in there. And so that's how I decided it. So that would be the difference is the aloe scrub is a lot more gentle. The aloe exfoliator is a lot more in the texture. You can feel it and a little bit more intensive. So hopefully that answered your question. You could always ask head office and they would give you any more information on that if you want to know the difference, but that's the main difference is really the texture. Do you need to put a moisturizer on after the aloe biocellulose mask? All right, hang on a second. I am losing where I'm at. Okay. If you could put your questions in the Q&A, it's actually helpful because it doesn't get mixed up with different things. But do you need to put a moisturizer on after the aloe biocellulose mask? And which one would you recommend? It depends on your skin type. If you've got, first to answer the first question, depends on when you're doing the mask. Like if I'm doing it in the middle of the day and I've already done my cleanse and all that, sometimes it's just a nice serum and I've just hydrated and you don't have to do, a moisturizer. But if I'm doing it at the end of the evening after I've cleansed and I'm about to go to bed, then I probably would. And then it depends on your skin type of what type of moisturizer. So if you've got oily skin or combination skin, use the Sonia. If you've got drying skin, use the Restoring Cream. We've got the Aloe Deep Moisturizer is one of our legacy products. You could use that as well. And that's for also drier, maturing skin. So hopefully that would help. What's the difference between hydration and moisture? I keep throwing that out, don't I? Okay, so in your skin, you need hydration. Think water. Hyaluronic acid provides that as well. So just think water. But also in your skin, you have what we call fatty acids, which are lipids. So think oils. So you've got both in your skin. Now, depending on the type of skin you have, is the type of oils that you need. So if you've got oily skin, you're only going to need a little bit of non pore clogging oils. If you've got combination skin, you're going to need just maybe a little bit more because your skin's not prone to being angry or troubled, to put it in a compliant kind of way. If you've got dry skin, you're probably losing oils because your skin is drying. And so you need more of those fatty acids. And so that's why we would recommend something like the Restoring Cream that has like all these fatty acids, not for oily skin. If someone with oily skin put that on, it'd be way too much. So, but the thing is we all, no matter your skin type, you need hydration. We all need water, so to speak. But we all need only certain types of fatty acids depending on our skin type. So hopefully that answered your question, because I do use those. I mean, people, if you see marketing, you're going to see them interspersed, but usually when you see the word moisture, it's going to be types of oils or fatty acids. Okay, I use Sonia in the night, Sonia in the morning and Infinite at night. That is a great thing also to mention. What I love about Infinite products is they can be mixed and matched depending on your needs. So I actually use Sonia Cleanser, especially at night, but I like Infinite probably in the morning. But I only use the Infinite Serum, Hydrating Serum, and Restoring Cream because my skin is a lot drier as I age. So I need more. The Sonia Daily Gel Cleanser is not enough for me, but my kids use that because they have oily skin. So that's a lot better for their skin. It's not enough for me. But you can mix and match. And if you're like, I love all the Sonia, I mean, I know FBOs in their 70s who probably had oilier skin when they were younger and now it's more combination. They just use Sonia. I have FBOs in their 20s who their skin is just more prone to be dry. So they use Infinite, or it's more sensitive. So they use Infinite. So, and then a lot of us do a mix of what you prefer, you know, and so it just depends. Sometimes it's budget, but often it's really down to your skin type. Where there's a difference is your moisturizer. That's really the biggest thing. Everything else probably can be used for all skin types, except for your moisturizer. All right, let's see. Let me look and see if, all right, I think I've answered all these questions. I think we're gonna call it a day. So, at that, we're gonna say we're done. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you next time. All right. I'm going to end this now.